Hello, hi, my name is Sindai, and thank you for tuning in. You're watching School Big with NetOne, the only program that brings you closer to your favorite stars. And remember, this is brought to you by NetOne, Zimbabwe's leading telecommunications company, bringing the world of entertainment right in one place through our fast and reliable internet services. And today in studio, I'm excited. I have a star that has not only dominated the local scene, but making waves outside of Zimbabwe as well. She's basking in the glory of her debut album. It's a self-titled album. She has recently released a song with Peruzzi that's dropped recently. There's a lot to talk about. She's going to be performing. It's an all-women performance coming on the 8th of November. And to not waste much of your time, ladies and gentlemen, make waves for Gemma Griffths. It's amazing to have you here.
It's so good to be here. Thank you for having me.
You've been busy.
Yeah, woo. But it's so good. Yeah, it's good to be busy.
Yeah, you've been in the USA, you've been in Canada touring. How's that experience?
Yeah, amazing. I love being on the road and connecting with Zimbabweans abroad. I think we've got such an amazing diaspora, and to be able to actually spend some time like with them is such a special thing.
And now that you're back, we got you here.
Yes,
amazing.
I'm home.
So now let's start from the beginning. Gemma Griffiths, I understand you were born in Zimbabwe, born in Harare. If anyone asks where Gemma is, you clearly say, I am the girl from Harare. Let's talk about the beginning up to where you are now.
Yeah, so I grew up in Harare, a couple blocks down from the city center, and very, very musical home. I had like a very sort of fun, open home. There was always something going on, lots of instruments to play. Like my gran was a pianist and my grandpa played clarinet and my mum taught me trumpet. So lots of music, and my folks used to take me to watch shows a lot. And they took me to my first ever Oliver Mutukudzi show. And yeah, no, it was a really, really special upbringing, and I love it.
So we could safely say destiny was written on the wall for you. You were bound to become a musician.
Yeah, I loved it. I think I did my first solo on stage when I was like 6 years old.
6 years old.
I always wanted to be a singer.
Ah, amazing. And then primary.
Yeah.
Primary. Did you then realize that I was going to be doing music full time, or you were just taking each day as it comes?
I think when you're a kid, like if you have the chance to have some free time, like you end up doing whatever you like. Like you keep going back to the thing that makes you excited. And for me, that was like songwriting and making music. So yeah, I did it through school, but I don't think I always wanted to be a singer, but I think it was just like the natural thing that I wanted to spend my time doing, and I'm just lucky that I got to do it.
I understand you also were doing poetry sometime.
Yes.
How then did you make that switch from poetry to music?
Oh, it's funny, no one's actually asked me that question before. But when I was a kid, I had this book, and I used to write poems. And then when I started learning the piano, I would put the poems to music. And I guess that's the thing, because lyrics are always my favorite thing, and I think that comes from that poetry. And often I'll write full lyrics for a portion of a song without ever hearing the music, just because I kind of know what I want it to say. So yeah, poetry and songwriting, they definitely go hand in hand.
And then one thing that most Zimbabweans always want to ask is, when did you start understanding Shona? Because now you have some songs in Shona.
Yeah.
Was it always something that you learnt at a very young age? And when you started writing your music in Shona, how was that transition from writing in English?
Yeah, so I learned Shona through school, but I think when it really like clicked was through my friend group, you know. A lot of my friends in high school and then beyond, and my band and people that I spend all my time with are Shona speakers. So obviously, naturally, you speak Shona. And I think the beautiful thing about being able to write in Shona and in English is languages have these nuances, that there's something you can say in English that hits different than if you say it in Shona, and vice versa. And so it's really nice to be able to pull on the tools of like 2 languages worth of like expression and you know, to be able to explain what you're feeling.
So it was an easy transition from you now saying, I can now understand Shona, now I can write my music in Shona, and I can also sing in Shona.
Yeah, I think it's just like I grew up listening to Zim dancehall, and I grew up listening to a lot of Zimbabwean music, and Thomas Mapfumo and Bob Nyabinde and Tuku, and it was all in Shona. So for me, the music that I love, the music from home, was in Shona. So it only made sense to also make music from home that sounded like that.
And then I'm still talking about school.
Yeah,
I want to understand what type of a person you were as a little kid, because now we understand the Gemma, the global icon. Did you ever do any sports
Yeah, I
Were
did.
you sporty?
I was actually very sporty, but it's funny because I always did the individual sports. I didn't really do a lot of team
Not
sports.
team sports.
I don't know what that means, but I did high jump quite competitively, and I did diving quite competitively, and dance. I did a lot of dance.
Dance?
Yeah.
So why did you stop then?
I still dance.
You still dance?
I still dance.
I haven't seen you dancing.
But I know, not on stage. I'm too focused on the music.
Okay.
But like, yeah, I love salsa dancing. And
Salsa dancing.
Yeah.
So if you were not going to pursue a career in music,
Yeah.
you were going to be dancing, or you were going to be doing something really sporty?
I think I would have ended up in something creative. Like I love, but I also think that I've discovered a lot of the industry through music. So I love video production. I love film production. I've worked quite a lot on different music videos, different films, and behind the scenes, you know, and the girl with the clipboard, like running around, making sure everybody's there on time. And I think that's why I have ventured into Hello High as well. One of the reasons it's the podcast is just because it's such an awesome thing to be able to be on set. So I wonder if maybe I would have ended up, something creative, definitely.
Not far away from the arts.
Not far, definitely deep within the arts, and I love it. I can't really imagine doing anything else. So thank God that I'm doing this.
And then the academic spot.
Yeah.
Were you a bright spark, or you was just an average student?
Actually, I was quite academic. School and I went well together.
You had a very good relationship.
For everybody, I think I was very A-type personality. I love the fact that you could, you know, like you could reach these goals.
Okay.
So yeah, I did a lot of artsy things at school. But yeah, I think I loved school. It did me well.
It did you well. Then you know, we are here on School Big with NetOne. I will ask this question: in high school, in primary, which was that moment that made you realize maybe I am that girl? That school big moment for you.
Yeah.
What was that moment for you?
I think there were a few, but I think a big one for me was I made head of music at my high school.
At your high school.
And that for me was a really big thing because that was like, okay, cool, I'm like deep within the music scene. But I think those moments when you're on stage, those moments like I got parts in plays that I was really excited about, you know. But I think maybe making head of music was a big moment within school. Obviously, since I've had some
obviously. So within school, that was your moment.
Yeah.
So then, do you ever look at high school? Do you ever look at primary and pick up moments where you want to relive again?
Yeah, I think there's something really special about being at school all day with all of your friends, doing things that, like, I think if I went back to high school, I would practice more. I would use the art department more because I had like all these things at my fingertips. They were pianos and stuff I could just go and do. And I think to be able to do stuff that you love, like being in choir, being in orchestra with all your friends, like those are priceless moments.
Priceless moments. And then we always know the star that you are now. What is that one thing that maybe you would have wanted people to see as a little kid that maybe this side they're not much of aware of, but it would have been great for the world to see from a little kid who was Gemma maybe 10, 20 years ago?
Yeah, I think it's a funny thing sometimes I think about. I was a character in school, and I think now it's like, okay, it makes sense, but at the time people might have been like, this is kind of wild. Like for Civies Day, like once a year or twice a year you'd do like a Civies Day and you get to wear your own clothes, and I would always pitch up, everyone would wear jeans, and I'd pitch up in like a tutu.
Okay.
Or like glittery head to toe, like I was so over the top.
As the dancer you are.
And the girls were all like, oh gosh, but I was
great.
like, I'm ready, for the stage. I don't know if I even realized like it was just like this idea of putting on this persona and being this.
Amazing. I'm loving having this conversation with you. So we start with the background, of course, going all the way up. As for now, we're going to go on a break and we come back and talk more about the star that you are now. So to the fans who are watching live, remember, this is Gemma coming in live on School Big with NetOne. I'm tonight, of course. And remember, tune in live, share, like, and subscribe on NetOne as we can have this conversation. So we're going to go on a break. We come back and continue this amazing conversation.
Everybody knows about Wonderful, and now this time we have decided that even those that want to run, from Wonder Valley, they are not paying the full registration fee. We slashed it by half. So those one, if you are local, if you are from Wonder Valley, you're not paying the $20 registration fee. You're actually paying only $10. And we've got primary school kids that want to partake in the 5-kilometer race. We are just registering them. They are not paying anything. They're just coming to have fun. It's always the same races. 5-kilometer fun run. Fun run is more like if you want to walk, if you want to run. You do what you want. It's just a 5-kilometer stretch, and then we've got the 10 kilometers. That's when the elite runners start, where there's competition there with the prizes. But still, social runners also participate in that. Then we've got the 21 kilometers also for social runners and elite runners as well. Others will be competing. Others will be running socially, enjoying themselves, keeping fit, wellness. And we've got the 42 kilometers as well. And remember, we also have the different categories for the masters, grandmasters, and the veterans. They also come to participate. You know, even the over 60 years old, they can come and participate and enjoy themselves. So it's encompassing everybody. Everybody has got a place at the NetOne Urban Wonder Valley Marathon. The terrain is tough. You just need to train a bit, you know, and then you can actually know what you're doing. And you just need also to pace yourself. And my advice sometimes is just come early, even in your car, just take a drive around the terrain so that you know exactly what the terrain is like, so that you can pace yourself, you know when to exert yourself, when to relax, knowing what is ahead of you. I believe that is very critical, to actually know the terrain pace, or even take the route map. You know, we are posting the route map a lot, the elevation and everything, so that you can actually know what the terrain is all about. We encourage people to actually take that information very well, so that they know what they are encountering.
Welcome back to School Big with NetOne. I'm having a conversation with Gemma Griffiths, and in the first segment we were talking about your childhood. Then I understood that after high school you got a scholarship.
Yeah.
And how did that go?
Yeah, so I wanted to study music, and I really wanted to go to the States just to see like how much I could expand my musical knowledge. Yeah. And obviously, like, America is a really big space in the music scene. So I always intended on coming home, but I wanted to be there for a time and just learn as much as I could. Yeah. And I ended up at a small music conservatory just outside of Salt Lake City in Utah, and I was on a jazz trumpet scholarship. So yeah.
So you play jazz. I had you a multi-instrumentalist as well. Yes,
yeah. So I play keys, trumpet, and guitar. I would say are my main three. But I've dabbled. I've played clarinet. I've played saxophone. Yeah, it's fun.
And then we know you as a pianist.
Yeah.
So would you credit that scholarship, or it was something that was just helping you boost a career that was already on the way?
I would say, I started playing piano when I was about 6, and I had a really, really good piano teacher in junior school, and then a really good piano teacher in high school, that gave me the tools to then to get to the States. And then my mum, obviously teaching me trumpet, was very special, and also a guy here called Satchmore, who also really, really built my trumpet skills up. But then I think I definitely grew exponentially as an instrumentalist when I was in the States, 100%.
100%. Yeah. So the journey to now becoming a full-blown artist.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Because now you are going to scholarships, you're playing, your trombones, everything. Yeah. How then did you realize and decide, I want to pursue a career in music?
You know, actually, it's so funny that we're talking about school, because I actually ended up dropping out and moving back home in my last year, because things started picking up. I started meeting people in the industry. I met my mentor, who's been mentoring me for about 10 years, 11 years now. And we started talking about, like, how are we going to build this journey and this career, and I was like, I need to be home.
Okay.
Like, I really need to be back in Africa and start building. And I was like, it's now or never. I gotta go. And it's funny because I have ended up lecturing at my old university classes that I didn't end up finishing.
Yeah.
But I think there's so much testament to how much you can also learn just by being in the industry, and being in the space. And I have such an awesome relationship with my old university, and and it's been awesome to just see how much how much I've learned through being here that I can then translate back to students there.
So is it a story that you always talk about, that you didn't finish school, but now you're this big
I don't know if I've
artist?
ever told anybody that. It's hilarious.
So you're actually privileged to be here to the side
There
of
you
you.
go. A little. I don't know if I would recommend it, guys. Don't
Yeah.
drop out of school. But yeah, I'm very grateful for the mentorship that I had, and I also thought like it was it's something that I might go back to and finish. You know?
Finish.
It would be nice to finish it off.
Amazing. Obviously, you have to finish what you've started.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. So it's just I've taken a sabbatical while I'm quickly building this career.
And then I understand there was a time you're staying in South Africa,
Yeah.
but you're also coming back in Zimbabwe
Yeah.
performing, performing at the Shoko Festival.
Yeah.
Were you now an artist at that time?
So I think, yeah, I moved to Cape Town for a couple of years. It's funny, people always think, oh, she lives in Cape Town. I don't, I live in Harare. But I lived in Cape Town for a couple of years because there was so much live music opportunity to sing, and I needed to make a living, you know. And I thought, let me go. And I was singing bar gigs like 5 or 6 nights a week for like 5 hours. And not getting paid a lot and sleeping on couches and living the full like muso thing where it's like struggling musician in a way. And I'm glad that I did that because it really honed in on my skill of like I can play for that long, and like my instrumental work really grew. But then I started releasing music and I was like, okay, this is all on the road to, it's a temporary part in the journey of becoming an artist. But I think, yeah, it was around 2019, I would say, really when my career kicked off. Yeah.
Were there any moments during that time when you were performing in bars where you thought to yourself, maybe I'm not cut out to be a musician, maybe I'm not cut out for this, I need to be doing something differently? So
funny, I think you always think, because it was never the goal was to play these gigs constantly and play covers and things like that. I wanted the crowd singing my music and just making that big impact. But I remember thinking, like, when it was hard in that way and I was like, this isn't exactly where I want to be, I had no plan B.
Okay. So it had to work.
It had to work. And I remember saying that to people. I was like, there's no plan B. This has to work.
And it worked.
And it worked.
Amazing stuff.
Oh, gosh, thank God.
And then there's 2 years.
Yeah.
I think those are the most exciting 2 years of your life.
They were crazy.
They were crazy.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I know, right? The 2 years where you were traveling across Africa, maybe 10 countries to be exact, at the back of your trunk, writing music.
Yeah.
What inspired that?
So I think I didn't know what I was setting out for, but I've always wanted to travel as much of the continent as possible. I think there's something beautiful about writing music in immersion and total immersion of a place, like with all of the sounds and the foods and the people, and like you're just experiencing it, and the music that comes out of that is so like rooted and interesting. And so I packed my life into the back of a Land Rover with a studio and a roof tent on top and just started driving with no plan other than to create and to let the continent teach me. And yeah, we ended up on the road for 2 years, but I popped home a lot because I was actually, it was during that trip that I think my career really sort of kicked off. So I was sitting at a little cafe in Bagamoyo, in Tanzania when MoGigs was released. You know? And then I was driving up the coast, and then I was in the mountains when I released Titungamire, and so it was these moments where I would come home, I would make stuff, I'd go back, I'd film things, and it was just 2 years of a lot of my songs that people know. I was sort of in and out, bopping around the continent.
And then what were the people at home saying? You traveling the country, of course, alone. What were the people saying?
I have no idea. You probably know better than me. I think people are really intrigued by it. And I think it's more about like what lessons did you learn whilst being on the road. And I think the biggest one that I learned was humans are innately good. You know, I really had such incredible experiences and such amazing moments of Ubuntu and people just being generous and kind. And that was something I was so grateful for. So
is this the reason why your music, your sound is so broad, because it has so many components? Is it because you traveled a lot? I think it's I definitely learned stuff from being on the road. I think it's an amalgamation of things that I've loved. You know, like I said, growing up in Harare and listening to all this live music, but then like Tuku and Bob Nyabinde and Thomas Mafumo, and then also loving Zim dancehall, you know, and then also studying and playing jazz. I think all of that has sort of amalgamated into whatever this sound that I have is, which I'm glad not to box either. It's a fusion of its own, and it's a sound, you know. Amazing. The conversation is still ongoing, and I'm excited. I hope you are as excited as we are. She's amazing, and the conversation is really good. We're going to go on a break, and we come back and explore further into what makes her tick. Welcome back. We're still watching School Big with NetOne, and I'm with Gemma Griffths. Now, we've done 2 segments where you've been talking about the journey. Now, if I remember correctly, around 2015, 2016, you were in the UK, and then on the piano.
Oh, yes.
Exactly, you know where I'm going with this.
I know where you're going.
And then one of the biggest songs around 2011 or 2010, done by Winky D. Babam sort of a big man.
Yeah.
That was you with your own rendition.
Yeah.
And then 4 years later, you get a call from Winky D, the man himself, for a collaboration.
Yeah.
What made you pick up the keyboard, the piano at that time, and do Winky D song? There were so many songs out there. What made you do that one?
I think, I think in high school I was such a massive fan of the Gaffer. I think like what he's done for Zim Dancehall and you know who he is and what he stands for in the music industry is colossal. He's a giant, and I loved Baba Musoro Big Man. And I think something that I really loved was when I was in the UK, I was there for the Zim Achievers Awards, and I went to go and check out the space, and they had this beautiful, massive, grand piano, and I was like, I need to play that. I need to play that. So I went back to where I was staying and wrote this rendition, and I thought, how much fun would it be to hear the girl's side of the story, because that's quite an intense like confrontation.
So is there a personal story to it?
No,
definitely.
No. Or if there was, I'm not going to tell you. But basically, I was like, that's such an intense thing. Can you imagine your dad like
coming in?
I was like, let's write her side of the story, because she must have also been feeling the most. I played that rendition, and I think that was a really big moment for, by the time I landed back home, someone had posted something and it was like kind of buzzing. So I ended up doing the rendition and filming it and putting it on YouTube. Obviously we had asked, I'd gotten someone to speak to Winky who knew him.
And he approved.
Yes, and he approved. And I think it just led to so much. But for me, it was just, I always just planned on it being this moment of like gratitude and like love to the Gaffer. I never in a million years imagined it would have led to Mugadan.
And then you also did another rendition.
Yeah.
This time from Jabreza.
Yeah.
Dada Chow. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's like you picked the 2 biggest artists at that time.
Well, it's funny because actually I bumped into Ja at Kirstenbosch, and I had known Ja for years, and he was like, do mine.
Oh.
Do one of mine. I was like, which one do you want? And he was like, Dada Chow. I was like, done. So that was really fun. Yeah. That was really fun, and I love Dada Chow as well.
And then that call came.
Yeah.
I recall correctly, if I'm recalling correctly, the Winky D in a car.
Yeah.
He plays Mugadan for you, and he says, I want you to be part of that.
Yeah.
After 4 years, how was that experience for you? You make a song, a rendition, probably 4 years prior, and then you get a call. It's the Gaffer himself. Yeah,
I mean, how do you think, you're like this young artist who's like a massive fan, and Winky D phones you and he's like, hey, I've got this idea, do you have time? I'll come pick you up.
Wow.
So we just sat in the car and he was like, I want to play you this song. And he played it for me, and I just kept thinking like, wow, this is amazing, but oh my gosh, it's Winky D. Wow, this is amazing. Oh my gosh, it's Winky D. And yeah, I think we jumped into the studio like that night. By the end of the next day, the song was done. And I learned so much from him about like how much care he puts into his music, how much thought he puts into it. Like he puts time. Like he's not just like, I'm in a rush, let's get the song out. He's like, I'll be here until 1 a.m. until we get this thing perfect. Absolutely no problem. I think he really is like a perfectionist in his art, and it's got him where he is.
And then Zimbabwe fell in love with you immediately after that song that dropped. It became one of the biggest songs at that time. For you now, how was it? You are on a collaboration with Winky D, the man himself, and your song is topping the charts.
That was wild, you know?
Very.
Because I remember that the last gig I played before this crazy gig at the HICC where I came out and surprised everybody was like some bar gig in some tiny little bar, and there were like 10 people, and I was like, oh, I'm so over this. And the song blew up, and I was like, what is going on? And it was just crazy. I'd wake up every day and there were just thousands and thousands of people like coming onto my Instagram and messaging me, and I was like, what is happening? But it's obviously it's the thing you dream of, you know, it's the thing you work so hard for. So I was very, very blessed that Winky D saw something and gave me a chance, and then Zimbabwe fell in love.
Fell in love. So was that your school big moment now?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You can't run away from that.
No, my God, I owe so much to Winky D and to Zim Dancehall and to what that moment was with MoGigs.
And then you keep on talking about dancehall. And it's quite funny because, you know, there's a stereotype around women being in love with dancehall. They're painted with a certain brush, but here you are. And then you love dancehall. You've done so much work at Choose Sport. You've done with we're talking about Enzo. We're talking about all these big stars. How then do you like defend yourself when people talk about Gemma being in love with dancehall?
I think it's funny. I think we have this weird need to box creatives, you know, this like we love putting things in compartments. Maybe it's just like a human construct that we just love, like everything has to be about what genre do you do, which artist do you prefer, and it's like something like creativity and music is so fluid. Music is such a powerful thing. It can break down barriers. It can, you know, no matter what race, age, what nationality you are, like you all have music that you love, and that connects with your soul. Like that's why it's the international language, you know, and why it can make you cry and it can heal things. It's so much more than all these little boxes that we put in. And I think that's something beautiful about it. It can transcend everything. And so for me, it was like, dancehall is dope, man. Like the storytelling is so great, the energy is great,
like, as well.
The beats, the videos, it's like it's just Zim, you know. And so I don't know. That's it. Like music.
It's like you're multifaceted because you're talking about dancehall, you're there gospel, you're talking pop as well. You've done so much work with Mara Brown. You've done levels. And how do you describe yourself as a musician, because you do so much, not only music as well? You've got your podcast, Hello Hi, we're going to be talking about that, but then how do you describe yourself? Who are you initially?
Honestly, I would say like a multifaceted creative. I think I love the creative scene in all of its aspects. Like I appreciate art, I appreciate dance, I appreciate music, and I just love all of it. And I think there's this beautiful thing of like, instead of doing one thing and one thing only, what if you could do all the things that excite you? Because life is short.
You got to do it all.
You got to do as much of it as you can, and look back and be like, oh, I have achieved all the things I wanted to achieve. So,
amazing. And then one thing that Zimbabweans love, they feel like there's a replacement. First, it was Winky D. And now you're doing so many collaborations with Baba. I mean, exactly. I mean, that coming in from that and coming into, you've got an amazing song as well that's Couple of the Year. I mean, let's talk about that relationship with Baba and the music that you've made, because every song that you've dropped out, total banger.
Thank you. Baba Harare is amazing. Like, I don't know, like how many. Obviously, people know that he started out as a guitarist in Ja Preza's band. Like he's a real musician, you know, an incredible writer. He's also written with me. He wrote Dimi Mwari with me, which is on my album. And I think he's just a good friend. He's a good person. He loves music. He gets music. Also incredibly humble. And so when we did our first track together, it was like this fun, really awesome collaboration. And then we were like, this is so good, let's do another one.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? And why not? You know, I've done 2 tracks with Natty O. I was like, it's the people that you vibe with and that you connect with. It's like, why stop there? You know? And it's awesome. We were like, let's make something that people can like celebrate their love with, you know. So a couple of the year.
No. When I'm looking at you two on paper, you look like you're two different characters.
Yeah.
But then how do you make something beautiful coming from two different backgrounds?
Isn't that the coolest part? Like, I think to be able, that's why I love collaboration. It's like you're bringing a part of yourself, they're bringing a part of yourself, the producer is bringing ideas and a part of himself or herself. And it's like three brains, you know, like playing ideas off of each other and being like, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I always think it's a great way to get you out of your comfort zone and to make something magical.
So would you confirm that Winky D has been replaced by Babara?
No ways. I would say there's no such thing. It's like you can't replace somebody with somebody. Like Winky D has. It's like if you have two friends.
You have two friends.
You can't replace one with the other. It's like there's so much space for like creativity and art and collaboration. And I think what was done with MoGigs can never be undone.
Can never.
It can never be replaced. And like my relationship with Winky, like I respect and I love. And I've learned so much from him. You know, he's like a big brother. I've honestly, like, I could never undo just how, or I could never explain how big of an impact that was. You know, but yeah, and I think. I mean, Babara and I, we do something different, you know? It's right, you know?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about women in music.
Yeah.
You are now coming into space where the market is dominated by male musicians.
Yeah.
But you're popping out, you're making a name for yourself, you're going to South Africa, you're going to USA, you're going to Canada. There's also Ferdinando's coming in, exactly, the likes of Amara Brown. Was there any point in your career where you thought Zimbabwe is too closed for women to make it?
I think Zimbabwe is very closed for women in a lot of ways in the industry, but I think the women who are in this industry will never let that stop them. I think, you know, like people like Feli and Amara and Tammy and Shashel and Nisha and Young Gemini and Kiki, like the numbers are, like the names are endless, you know. I think there's this extra layer that women have to work through in the industry to be able to be, and I think this is a very collective thought amongst all of us, because we're all close. Like all these girls, the industry wants to make it like, oh, the girls are fighting each other, they don't like each other. That's not true. That's not true at all. Like,
you're not fighting at all.
Feli, I was with the girls yesterday. Like I was with Shashel and Tammy and Feli literally yesterday. We were having all these talks and it was so nice. Like we love each other, we support each other, and we need that support from each other because we do have this extra layer of like, promoters are like, oh, we'll just book one female on a 3-day lineup. And we're like, it's not the one. And I think collectively what we all want and what we all deserve and what we're all going to demand now is stop being like, oh, you're a female artist, the female artists and the male artists. No, I'm a Zimbabwean artist.
You're a Zimbabwean
I'm
artist.
a Zimbabwean. I deserve to be up there.
Yeah.
Boys or girls, it's about your performance. It's about your music. And I think that is a massive mind shift change that has to happen in Zim, and I hope it will, and I think us girls are going to be the ones who just make it happen. And
then I was listening to your conversation with Natio at some point, and he kept on emphasizing on the collaborative part of the music. And we want to ask this question. You were talking about women as a group. But why are we not seeing so much work coming from you guys?
Do you think so? I mean, Tammy dropped an album this year, Feli dropped an album this year, I dropped an album this year.
As a collaboration. As
collaborations? I think often there's this lovely thing of to be able to write about love. Obviously, then the boy and the girl connection is quite great. But, I mean, I've collaborated with a bunch of girls, you know? And I think we all plan on it as well. It's like you just, it's what is the song about and things like that. And it's funny because behind the scenes, like maybe it's about getting it out there more. Like actually, we're all good. Like we all love each other, you know. But I guess that's a question you don't really ask the boys. They don't really collaborate much.
No, those days they do.
Yeah, I guess, but probably as much as I would say as much as the girls. Like I just dropped a song with Feli.
Yeah, amazing stuff. So are you going to be singing a little bit about it later?
What? About the Feli song?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I understand later when we get to the end of the year, there's an all-woman performance.
Yes! Yeah.
That's power.
It's coming up.
That's power.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Yeah, Nubian Notes, I guess, is the idea of this, like, let's change this narrative, you know. We're living in this industry that is so heavily dominated by the men, not because we deserve it any less, just because the way the industry is structured, you know, the way promoters work, and the mindset. And it's like, nah, we're here, we've worked hard, we deserve this, we're going to take up space.
Okay.
And so that's Nubian Notes. It's on the 8th of November at HICC. And it's Feli, myself, Tammy Shashel, and Nisha Tees. And yeah, I think it's going to be powerful. It's going to be so much fun. The first of its kind, but I think opening a lot of conversations about, like, are we missing something in this industry, you know, to be able to support these women who are working as hard as the men.
And it's a statement on its own.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
Yes, go
so let's talk about now you've done all this. The recognition is now coming.
Yeah.
Recently, the midway through the year, Rolling Stone Africa comes in and you're on the cover for Future Music. Rolling Stone is one of the biggest magazines in the world, and Rolling Stone Africa is big in terms of pop, movies, and music. And you're from Zimbabwe. Probably one of the few artists, or maybe the only one, we have started so far to be on the cover of such a big magazine. How is that?
Honestly, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for that opportunity, and to be able to represent Zim in that way is such a cool thing. I think the other artists from around the continent who were featured as well on covers was such a cool thing to be able to connect with them. And honestly, I'm just so glad that you know, Rolling Stone is putting time into the continent. And yeah, a massive shout out to Usher. I had an amazing interview with him. He's a writer for Rolling Stone, and it was just so cool to be able to, like, speak about Zim and speak about music. And yeah, shout out Rolling Stone. Thank you. And
then do you look at it and it's a reflection of how far you've come and how big you are as an individual now? I think sometimes we get so caught up in, like, how much there is still to do. You know, you're like, I need to achieve. But then I often sit and I'm like, I'm living in an answered prayer. There's so many things that I would have, like, if you told me 10 years ago you were going to be on the cover of Rolling Stone, I'd have been like, what? No way.
What do you mean? So yeah, it's moments like this that I'm like, okay, we're moving in the right direction.
And then the first time you did international collaborations, if I remember well, it was a remix of Dinewe.
Oh, yes.
Back then. Was it that moment where you felt like I can work with other artists across Africa? Because that was like a melting pot for all other musicians. Was it all culminating to this point now? Because recently you dropped a song with Peruzzi Holly. Trace, that's big as well. So was that moment there with Dinewe leading to what we see now?
100%, and I think it was on the trip. You know, these were connections that I made on the trip. I did it with Linux and Baraka the Prince, who are both from Tanzania, from Dar es Salaam, and it was just like that idea that I talk about of collaboration being like this amalgamation of minds and ideas, and how much you can grow and learn from that. And then it's led me here to Holy with Peruzzi, which is
amazing. So that's Nigeria, Zimbabwe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's Nigeria, Zimbabwe.
Davido, Japrez have done it. How did you feel being the latest Zimbabwean to collaborate with a Nigerian?
I feel so lucky. I'm such a massive fan of Peruzzi, and it was such a serendipitous moment when it all happened, when actually I was in the UK playing the music to somebody, and they knew him, and they were like, oh my goodness, you know who would love this is Peruzzi. And I was like, are you kidding me? What do you mean? And he's been incredible. Like, I love his verse. I love the sound that he brought to the song. We just dropped the music video, like 12 hours ago.
12 hours ago.
And that's been so much fun as well. Like, he's in the video as well, so we've got Lagos and Harare, and it's just such a special moment. And yeah, I'm a massive Peruzzi fan, so shout out for that. The music.
And then when you are talking about your career, most musicians don't make it. Some die with their music in their books. Would you look at your career and say it's been an easy ride? Would you look at it and say maybe I've had it easy more than anyone else?
The industry is not easy.
It's not easy.
The industry is not easy, and I think definitely, you know, everybody has such a different journey.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has such a different journey, and I think areas that I've been so blessed is having supportive parents.
Amazing.
I think areas I was blessed was getting a scholarship that meant that I could actually go and study, and then having these key moments like MoGigs, and being able to connect with people along the way. And I think I've had so many people help me. It really is such a community effort, like working with Levels and Fanton and Enzo at a Chill Spot, and grow, and like Manucci now with the album. Like, it's these key connections. You're not an island. You can't do it alone.
Okay.
But I think, yeah, definitely having the support of my family has been a massive help, and I think there's so many artists who have had to do it without that, and that must be very difficult.
I don't
but yeah, I think everybody has their own struggles. There's no blue book of how it's meant to work, you know? Everyone just tries
to make it.
Yeah, and see how far we get.
And then you talked about the journey. Now I'm bringing you back maybe to the 25th of May.
Yeah.
Thereof, your self-titled album, your debut album, Gemma, drops. And it's some very cool tracks on it.
Thank you.
Why did it take us this long?
I don't take the idea of a debut album lightly, you know. So I dropped A Girl from Harare and I dropped Pamwe, which were two like EPs. But it meant a lot to me to write the story of Muskana Harare hustling in the city to make it as a creative, you know.
Yeah.
So I wanted that story, and I wanted it to be a full visual album. So you can actually go onto YouTube, click on the Gemma like album playlist, and you can watch the entire album from beginning to end. And so I wanted it to be more than music. I wanted it to be a full holistic creative experience.
It's like a documentary as well.
Yeah, and a story as well. Like, there's moments of heartbreak, there's moments of hustle, there's moments of struggle, there's moments of like joy, and there's moments of connection with God, you know. All the things that go into like basically what I've been doing for the last decade. And I think 10 years in the industry, I was turning 30, I was like, this seems like the moment to drop a landmark thing.
And then you did amazingly well.
Thank you.
When are we expecting the next album?
Oh my gosh. You'll probably know better than me, but I'm in the studio. I'm working. I was just in the UK. I was in the studio there. I've been with Manu in the studio here. So yeah, there's a lot of music in my books now. I've just got to keep creating and then see where we get. But for now, it's like I want to push this album, maybe like take a month to breathe, you know, and then really kick into the next. And then
now we're about to get to the close of what has been an exciting story that you've been telling me. But I just want to package everything quickly. You've read the Charlie K.
Yeah.
Oliver Mtukuzi, and I read recently that if there's anyone you would want to work with, that's Thomas Mapfumo. Why him?
I mean, it's self-explanatory. Like, he's been such a massive part of the music industry, and he's an absolute legend. I respect him so much. I've met him, and just like, he's humble and incredible, and I mean, that would be anyone's dream, I think.
Maybe. Yeah. And then, obviously, going forward, what can we expect from you?
A lot of new music, more episodes of the podcast, more time with the girlies, an unapologetic hun.
Okay.
And yeah, I think just I you know, I love Harare. I love Zim. I just want to keep celebrating it in every way possible. So yeah, just more Gemma.
It came as a surprise that you started your own podcast.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be on the other side of the microphone? You asking the questions.
It's wild. It's kind of weird. Like, I had to get used to it because it's such a different hat to wear. To be the one, to be in your seat, to be asking the questions, and I think it's been really nice because everybody that I've chatted to are people that I personally know, that I adore, that we have personal relationships, and so it's very comfortable. It's, you know, to be able to ask Nati or Ja or Feli a question, like, we know each other, you know. But it's been, I really respect interviewers. I respect, people who interview, whether in podcasts and TV shows or on radio. Like, it's a whole skill that you have to learn, and I think I'm slowly getting the hang of it, for sure.
So you're actually picking something from me now.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. And then there's a documentary about you as well.
Yeah.
Winky G speaks on it. Yeah. Speaks highly of you, your work ethic. How did that documentary come about?
That was all filmed during that journey, that 2-year journey, and it was just like, what if we could condense this idea into a short film that you get to see like a little snippet of the whole 2 years, and then this building into A Girl from Harare.
Yeah.
Not only the EP, but also just the concept.
Just the concept. So now I'm going to ask you
Yeah.
to exercise those 4 goals.
Yeah.
Leave Zimbabwe with something else. Remember, we give the best internet. Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. So what are you going to give for us?
Let's do a fan fave. What do you think? Should we do Ndisha Tarisa? Yeah.
Amazing.
Where am I singing to? I'm singing to you guys in the background there.
Yeah.
Hi. Ndisha Tarisa, kwamuri marikana upenyu wangu orema Ndisha Tarisa, mwari wangu. Mwari wangu. Everybody sing the oh, let's go. Whoa, oh, oh, Ndisha Tarisa. Hey,
Mwari wangu.
give yourselves a hand. That was beautiful, my choir.
Auntie G, so amazing. It's been really beautiful. I wish time wasn't an enemy at this point. But then what's the last thing you want to say to yourself in public, in front of the world, that might definitely inspire someone else out there who wants to do what exactly Gemma did?
Yeah, I would just say thank you guys so much for listening to the music. I would say shout out to my girlies. I would say if you are a fan of one of the girls, go stream our music. Come on, let's go. Come to Nubian Notes at HICC, and remember to be kind. If you have an option, if you're online and you want to write something in the comments, remember we're all human, and if you can drop something kind, that goes a long way. Okay.
Amazing stuff. From the podcast, traveling across the country, traveling across Africa, touring in the United States, touring in Canada, dropping an EP, dropping an album, performing everywhere, becoming a global icon. This is Gemma Griffths. It's been amazing having a conversation with you right here on School Big with NetOne, proudly brought to you by Zimbabwe's leading telecommunications company. I'm Tendai, and until next time, it's a solid goodbye.
Going out on the weekend, chasing the dream, no sleeping. Yeah, but I know my weakness, so I go church, I'm singing holy, holy. Jah, will you bless my life?